Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. We started a new series of planets when they transit over a natal position of your planets. Then what is the dissemination, what is the manifestation, what are the probabilities they create. What this means is that if a planet is transiting over those planets which are placed in your birth chart, say for example if Jupiter is placed in your Lagna itself, in your birth chart, so whenever a planet transits over it, whichever planet we are talking about in this video, then what is the result it will bring. So sometimes in the last video that we did, we talked about Jupiter transiting over the natal positions of your planets, which means all the 9 planets which are placed in your birth chart, including Jupiter. When Jupiter transits over them, what are the results, what are the probabilities it creates for you. So we did that video and I'm going to give you the link to that video also in the comment section. Today we are going to do a very important planet, which is the Rahu, which is transiting or which will transit over your 9 planets in your birth chart. I'm talking about initially the transit of planets which have longer transit periods. So we talked about Jupiter, which transits over a planet for a year. So it has a 1 full year to manifest its results. Then we will be talking about Rahu and Ketu, and then we will be talking about Saturn, which takes about 2.5 years to manifest or transit over one sign to the other. Then we will talk about the faster moving planets or faster moving energies, which is Sun, Venus, Mercury and Mars, and Moon. It takes just 2.5 days. So we will talk about it last. So today we will talk about Rahu when it is transiting over the other 9 entities, including itself, in your birth chart. What kind of results it will give, what kind of probabilities it will create. Now when Rahu transits over your natal position of your Sun, that means when Sun is placed in a certain house in your birth chart and then Rahu is transiting over that house, what are the different manifestation it creates. So what is Sun? Sun is authority, leadership, taking accountability, taking responsibility, your self-respect, your pride, your ego, your arrogance, your need to control, your ability to shine, your artistic ability, your ability to lead others, your ability to also do service to others in a leadership role, and many other disseminations as well. So when Rahu goes over Sun, it triggers all of these areas. Now one thing important about Rahu is a planet of greed, hunger and explosive power. So when it goes over Sun, it ignites those areas of the Sun which were talked about, all those manifestations, but in a hunger oriented manner, which means Rahu is checking, have I got in any of these areas to my advantage? Have I benefited over or in these areas over a period of time, over any of these areas, and how can I use them to my advantage? How can I utilize them further? So when Sun is a planet of an energy of leadership, so when Rahu is transiting over natal Sun, so Rahu ignites the need for higher leadership, more leadership. So here the person thinks that, have I got the leadership position which I deserve? Have I got the power which I deserve? Have I got the influence which I deserve? Or have I been kept away from it? Have I been kept away because of the political issues, because of the manipulation of the others? Is there people who are working against me? So all these triggers, all these thoughts trigger in the person's mind, and the person thinks about, how can I get more authority if I have been shortchanged, if I have not got them so far. So the person's need for high authority comes in. Now even if Sun is placed well, then the person wants higher power, higher authority, to be able to do more, to be more accountable, to be more responsible, to do more. Yet the need for higher power, higher authority, higher manifestation of influence comes into the picture. So what happens is it triggers thoughts and it triggers actions also around it. So the person will start talking about, say for example, if he is working in a certain position in a certain organization, then he may go and talk to his higher ups that, boss, I have worked so hard and I have done this, I got this project, I got this success, and I don't think I have got what I deserve so far. So I am looking for a higher move up, in terms of designation. I want that corner office, I want that role, I want that designation, I want that authority, I want that flexibility. So I want all of this. So usually the person will use his tact, his diplomacy, his ability to be in people's good books, because Rahu is a planet of also tact, higher intelligence, 10 times the intelligence of Mercury, but maybe in a slightly diabolical way, a more manipulative way. So the person will first try and use all his charm to able to get the bosses to agree, but for some reason if the agreement is not there, or if Rahu is transiting over Sun in an inimical position, then the person will also try to sometimes give threats, may also try to spoil results, because of which the boss may be forced to give in to threats also. Sometimes he may try to mobilize his team members like in a union fashion and say, boss, if you're not giving me this role, I'm going, and then all my team members, they will follow. Many times what happens in large organizations, when a senior person leaves, he joins another organization, all those people who worked under him and he trusts them, he will take them along, he will join the new company, and then one by one he will all get all his people in, and then will discard all the other people who are already existing in the new company in that department. So this game will also, the person may try to play, or any other game, to be able to get the power, the influence, the authority. This also makes the person sometimes try to do something very innovative in the field of arts, in his or her artistic ability, to be able to do better performances, and sometimes tries to bring in more uniqueness, innovation in his performances, because of which the person will shine. If the person is an artist, then the person thinks, I have done so far so many performances, I want to do something new, different, something innovative, something creative, which my audiences will also like. I will give them something new, I will not give them the same old boring stuff I have done so far. So this person may also try to embark on a new activity in the field of not only power and influence as he or she wants, but also his or artistic ability. So wherever Rahu, whichever house Rahu goes over the Sun, that area Rahu will try to trigger innovation, creativity, need for power, influence, tact, but also higher responsibility, higher accountability. And that is the manifestation of Rahu when it goes over the natal position or birth chart placement of the Sun. Now when Rahu goes over the planet Mercury, Mercury is the planet of tact, intelligence, intellectual capacity, your ability to take analytical decisions, your communication skills, your ability to be able to influence others, your marketing skills, your branding skills, your ability to serve others, heal, problem solve, and try to do a perfectionist job, try to problem solve in such a manner where you are also trying to correct other people. So Rahu will manifest all these energies, Rahu will trigger all of these energies, but in such a manner that the person feels, I am so intelligent, I am so versatile, I am so practical, I have a strong ability to be able to use data, analytics, numbers to be able to do better service to the area that I'm working, to the project I'm working at, to the organization and to the department. So can I do better? Can I use, or have I got the fruits of my labor so far? All the long hours of hard work that I've put in, the perfectionist job that I've tried to put in, I am better than everybody else in my team. I'm most intelligent, I'm most capable, and the way I work with numbers, with data, crunching numbers, doing analysis, nobody else is able to do, and I have got so many laurels to the department, to the organization. Have I been rewarded enough? Have my intellectual capacity been utilized enough? So he may push for higher authority, higher responsibility to his supervisors, telling that, see, I am more intelligent, you have not given me the role that I deserve, because of which the department can also do better, the department can also profit more. If you give me the role, if you give me the high authority, obviously I will be using my analytical abilities, my intellectual capacity to bring more laurels to the department, to bring more credit to the company, to bring in more numbers also, because Mercury is all about numbers, and Mercury is about finances also. So this person may also give the carrot to the higher management that, see, if you are able to give me higher designation, higher responsibility, bigger team, then I will be able to do even better work. And the person may push numbers. If you are ready to give me that, today I am giving you 10% profitability, I may be able to give you 15%. So the person will use good negotiation skills, that Mercury using the intellectual capacity and the tactical ability of Rahu to be able to do that and negotiate for the better deal for self, better remuneration for self, more power and authority. But here this is not power and authority just for leadership position which Rahu or Sun can bring. Here it is about how I am able to control the important areas of my department, able to control the analytical ability, control what my team gets, control what I get, and through that I gain most, whether it's power, authority, influence, higher designation, the corner office, higher money, higher incentives, whatnot. So Rahu here pushes Mercury and the ability of Mercury to be able to do that, and it also refines the communication ability of Mercury. Rahu will also push the person to improve their way of communication and influencing and negotiation. The person may become sharper in his or her negotiation skills when Rahu is going over Mercury, and the person will also look back and say, I made this wrong pitch, I need to improve on it. So the person will perfect the art of negotiation, will perfect the art of how they are able to use negotiation, tactical negotiation, to be able to get the best for themselves and for the team. But sometimes what happens, especially if it's going over negative signs, if Mercury is placed in negative signs, in debilitation or in tough houses, then the person may also lie a little bit, may also fudge data a little bit to serve self. However, one of the most intellectual capacity, an explosion of intellectual ability to be able to use both for good use and even for diabolical and manipulative means, is where Rahu goes over natal Mercury in your birth chart. Now when Rahu goes over Venus, this is a very materialistic oriented transit, right? Rahu does over Venus. So Rahu here now thinks that, okay, what are the areas which Venus rules? Venus rules money, finances, your looks, your ability to communicate in a very sophisticated manner, your charm, your suave, your panache, your ability to live the good life, your ability to love others, to show intimacy, to indulge in the sexual act, and also to be able to get nourishment, to get higher remuneration, livelihood, and to also strike partnerships, which the Libra sign energy represents, and to be able to balance between what you want and what others want. So when Rahu is going or transiting over natal Venus, all these areas are activated, and all of these areas the person starts to think that whatever I have done so far, have I achieved what I truly wanted? Have I got the kind of intimacy which I am looking for in a relationship? Is my woman or is my man giving me the intimacy that I desire? And in fact, Rahu ignites the higher need for intimacy, higher need for romance. So the person is thinking that I have so much, I look good, I am so successful, why am I not being able to get the intimacy which I deserve from my spouse or from my partner? I think I am neglected, I think I deserve better. So either the person will push the partner to show more romance, to show intimacy, push the partner even in the bedroom, maybe want to play some games in the bedroom, may want to play act, and do all sorts of things, try different positions. Mind you, they can be as experimental as they want in the bedroom, and so they will push the boundaries of sexual act, intimacy, love and romance. May want to show love and romance in a very creative manner. We'll say, okay, we have been to all these places, let's go to a very exotic place for our 25th anniversary. I'm just giving an example. It could be 10th, 15th, 20th, whenever Rahu is transiting over your Venus, and we'll try to position that this is a special moment for us, we should do something grand, we should do something more. And the person will also try to improve their own looks, will also focus on the mirror and say, no, I need to curb this, I need to do that, and will push the partner more, that you need to reduce your weight, you need to be in better shape, what have you been doing, see how good I am. And the person sometimes is not able to look at self, but is trying to push the partner so that he gets the best or more out of the bedroom, more out of intimacy or romance. And when he goes out in the public, there the person also wants that the partner should also show good on him or reflect good on him, so that he can also feel good that, see, I've got such a beautiful partner with me. So all these areas are triggered. The person may also want the better quality of life, he wants a better car, he wants a better watch, he wants to wear better clothes, he wants to be in a good house. All the materialistic desires are triggered. And the person also wants more money. He feels, I don't have much money in the bank, I've got just 1 million, I need 5 million, I need 10 million. So the Rahu triggers the need, the hunger for more love, for intimacy, for better quality of life, for better remuneration, also to be able to get more bank balance and to have more financial security. But the challenge with Rahu goes over Venus is that anytime, even when they feel they're getting more than last time, their hunger is more and more and more. So sometimes they drain out the energy of the partner, may drain out the energy of the team, may drain out the energy whoever is serving them, saying that what more do you want? And then the partner may feel that what has happened to you? Why are you acting so weird? So the person may come across sometimes as being too pushy, and also they are little weird. The partner may feel what's going on here, and sometimes the person may also push the purse strings while he wants more money, but his hunger and greed for the materialistic life is not done. He may buy a car which is beyond his means. He may try to buy a house which is beyond his means. He may try to make friends with people who are beyond his means. He will try to strike a friendship on the higher social strata. So this is a placement where if Rahu is going over well-placed Venus, then all the goodies may come in, all the materialistic success may also come in, with some raised eyebrows here and there. However, if Rahu is going over tough placement of Venus, then this can also create challenges in his or her married life, in committed life, where the person may start looking outside for that intimacy that the person is seeking, that sexual excitement that the person is seeking, or may fudge data so that he gets more increment, so that he gets that increment to buy that sports car. So sometimes it is also laden with the fallacy of sudden downfall also, because when Rahu is going over Venus's ability to force a person to look towards more materialistic tendencies, but being misled by Rahu can also become a big problem for the person. So it is a watch out person. So this is a watch out period when Rahu is going over the natal Venus in your birth chart. Now when Rahu goes over the natal position of Moon in your birth chart, what is Moon? Moon is your attachment. Moon is also what you like, what you love to do. Moon is also what your empathy is, where your understanding is. Moon is also all those emotional attachments which you may have even treasured over a period of time, and the ability to do more, to nourish others, to support others, to do more for others, to try and understand others even at our own cost. So when Rahu is going over Moon, remember Rahu is the north node of the Moon. It is one other axis connected to the Moon. Moon is a more neutral position. Moon is pulled in either direction by either Rahu or Ketu. So here Rahu pulls Moon more towards higher need for empathy, higher need for understanding, higher need to be loved and cared. So the person may look around and say, am I treasured enough? Am I really loved enough by my partner? Is my partner attached enough to me? And am I getting the understanding that I should get in my love life? And do I have the material assets, the big house that I want, all the jewelry that I want, all the domestic appliances that I want, all the conveniences do I want? So because Moon rules the fourth house of assets, so the person is moved all towards those assets which the person may feel are required for the financial security, for the person in his mind to feel that I'm secure. This is different from the materialistic qualities of Venus, which is more for the better quality of life. There, more than financial security, the person is looking for the higher quality of life. Here the person is looking at feeling secure within himself, that I've got all the money, all the assets, and I've got the love, and I've got the affection from my partner. This is not so much about the bedroom sex because of which the person feels desired. Here the person feels, when I go home, is the person ready to do for things for me? Food is being served, people are asking me, are you tired, do you need a massage, and you will get up and use it. So the person is thinking how people give up themselves to serve me, to support me, to nourish me, to look after me, to understand me, to empathize more with me. So the person keeps pushing the hot buttons of others, pushes others more. In his family, with his spouse, that you're not doing enough, I don't feel cared enough. When I came in, you were not even smiling. I think that you have completely become negligible about me, you don't care about me, you don't even understand how hard I work. So the person is looking at more understanding, nourishment, support from the home. And so when he goes home, he is looking at the partner and the home to do more for him. And also the emotional attachment. The person may also go through a seesaw of emotion. Sometimes the person may be an upbeat, very upbeat about his emotions, very in a very good mood. Sometimes the person may be down in the dumps emotionally. Rahu may be tugging and pulling the strings of emotion, because Rahu will take you to extremes. This is a energy which the person may also want. Because of Rahu going over Moon, getting into addictions or getting into those habits which the person wants a high. He wants a high for the mind, for the emotions, and for that he may want to experiment with different things. And sometimes when the low situation comes, the person may go to the pits of the lowness, in fact even get into depression. So this is a tough placement. However, if the Rahu is going over very well placed moon, say exalted moon in Taurus or moon being well placed in Sagittarius or in Cancer sign, then the person can do very well, look at financial situation to get assets, to be able to build assets, maybe increase one more asset, and to focus more on his home improvement, focus more of his energy with his love life, also with his home, over his domestic affairs also. So this is a tricky placement when Rahu goes over moon. But if you have Rahu going over moon in your natal chart, do pay attention whether Rahu is going over well placed moon or a displaced moon or a not so well placed moon, because that will bring in its own manifestation. Now when Rahu goes over Mars in your natal chart, so what is Mars? Mars is the energy of go-getting, goal-oriented, killer instinct, getting into any sort of situation and winning at any cost, the higher energy and the temper, the anger, the aggression, and also the go-getting spirit to go against all odds, against all competition. Now normally Mars is also good strategist. Mars is also well planned. The general has to plan, then to move his forces, then to move his resources, then to move his energies. But what Rahu does is, Rahu increases the need to have higher goals, to win higher goals, and to take higher risks. So the person may push to take higher risks, to get more goals, to get more sales maybe for the organization, to get more wins, and for that the person is ready to take any tactics, to any practices to be able to deserve more, to get more, and to get more laurels, to get more medals. Here the person is looking of course at money, remuneration, but is also looking at higher laurels, higher appreciation, that I should be put on a pedestal, I should be looked at as a warrior, somebody who is the best for the organization, the best builder, the best salesperson, the best marketing person, the best designer. I want to be the best in the organization. I want to be given the best appreciation, the best acknowledgement also. So in doing that, the person is pushing the limits of how much he can get. If he has achieved one target, he will push for even higher targets, but even also want more incentives, also higher reward. And so during that time when Rahu is going over Mars, because the Angakaraka Yoga is activated, the fire energy is activated, 10 times the nuclear explosion energy is activated. So high temper, high frustration when the goals are not coming, high aggression with him, with his team members, maybe with his bosses, with his clients, with his customers will also come in. So one has to be very guarding when Rahu is going over Mars, because Rahu will trigger all these areas. If Mars is not well placed, then it can lead to very high frustration, anxiety, and anxiety attacks, and also high blood pressure also. Extreme cases when somebody is of higher age also, this can also lead to such high pressure being built up in your blood vessel that even can lead to thrombosis or breaking of veins or whatever of your blood vessels, or rupturing of your vessels also. So this can even get to that situation, maybe in extreme cases. However, the danger is always there. But this can be very good energy for sports people. When Rahu goes over Mars, usually you find that a bowler or a person who's playing football, they can be very innovative, they can be very creative, they can try to use more tactics, they can also try new techniques where they are fooling the competition and they are scoring, and the competition is like, where did this come from? So somebody who is a footballer can excel high during that time. A politician can excel very well by putting off the competition on the wrong foot. And sometimes hence Rahu Dasha for some people can be very good, especially if Rahu is going over Sun or Rahu is going over Mars. And this is the denotation when Rahu goes over your natal position of Mars in your birth chart. Now when Rahu goes over the natal position of Jupiter, this is a high energy of all the areas of Jupiter getting activated. What is the Jupiter manifest? Jupiter manifests high education, higher learning, need for higher learning, need for high experiences, faith and belief, spirituality, large-heartedness, more liberal thoughts, more abundance, more prosperity, ability to take wise decisions, ability to take thought out decisions, ability to take balanced decisions for others and for self, and try and bring prosperity and abundance to everyone around. and to be very dignified, and also to be very balanced in their thought process, very wise in how they take decisions. So when Rahu goes over Jupiter, the person starts to think, and sometimes thinks about, have I got enough learning? Have I got the cutting edge of qualification that I need? Do I know enough? Have I sharpened the skills of my qualification, or my knowledge, or my competence over the last few years? Am I competent? Am I current? Or will I be left behind? Is the competition overtaking me? Are my competitors or people who are my colleagues, are they doing better than me? So the person will look at avenues to learn more, to get higher qualification. Not just to learn more, but also to add 1 or 2 qualifications to his critique, so that his credibility goes up, his acceptance goes up, his employability goes up, and then he becomes more employable, and in due course he can also ask for higher rewards. He can see I've done this course, I've done this certification, I've done this PhD, I've done this research, so I deserve more. Give me better qualification and treat me as an expert, treat me as the advisor, take me as the most competent authority in your organization. Put me in the board of directors because I'm so competent, I'm so strategic, I'm so wise, I'm so balanced. So Rahu pushes the person to acquire new knowledge, to acquire new experiences, and so to acquire new qualification also. But what it also does is, while it pushes the person to take wise decisions, the person also thinks that, what have I gained? I have done so much service to be such a good advisor, such a good guru, such a good mentor for others. What did I get? So this person may tell higher up, see, you have put me in a vice president position, I deserve executive vice president, I deserve higher post, I deserve to be somebody who is the strategy head of the organization, so you better give it to me. And the person may even want to go for expensive qualifications, sometimes which the organization may or may not be able to afford. So this is definitely pushing the limits of education, qualification, expertise also. However, what Rahu also does is, this person will also start to think very innovatively, that can I do some different ways of marketing? Can I use different ways of how I structure the organization? Can I use different ways of using strategy? Can I use different ways of how I use competencies, how others can be competent? So this can be also very creative energy, which can not only improve the capability and the competence of the person, but through the person may also bring in, usher a new energy, where everybody is trying to upskill themselves, everybody is trying to also get more competent. If this is a head of the family and Rahu is going over his Jupiter, then the person may look around everyone in the family, may check on his children, how are my children doing, may tell his push his spouse that, you need to upskill yourself, why don't you do this certification, why don't you do this? Friends come home, to start guiding them also. So this is a good creative energy. It is Jupiter which can also balance to some extent the energy of Rahu, as long as Jupiter is strong and good dignity. Otherwise, this can also come to an extent where the person pushes his expertise, his knowledge to such an extent that sometimes the people around him, the organization, may not be able to take the advice, the expertise that they're providing, and not be able to see the downside or the fallacies of that guidance. So it's a good energy as long as it is used well when Rahu goes over the natal position of Jupiter in your birth chart. Now when Rahu is going over or transiting over your natal position of Saturn, this is a Shrapit dosha. Now Shrapit dosha occurs in your horoscope, but whenever a planet goes over the other, it will trigger those energies, if not the yoga itself, not the dosha itself. So when Rahu goes over Saturn, Saturn is a very slow moving energy, Saturn is a very patient energy, Saturn is a very persevering energy, but Rahu is pushing and asking that, and igniting all the areas of Saturn, that am I organized enough? Am I too patient? Did I get enough? I waited for so long. Did the organization really reward me for my patience, for my hard work, for my loyalty, for my commitment, for my practicality? So the person will question and will look back and then see that if the person has really been working hard and now Rahu is going over Saturn, the person loses his patience because the Rahu is in the picture, and then the person thinks, why have I not got the fruits of my labor? Why is the organization treating me the way it is? Why am I still at the lowly position in the organization? I should have moved 2-3 levels by now. So it is also a wake-up call in some ways for those people who have been very lackadaisical, very procrastinating, because Saturn gives you the energy that everything is okay, one day everything will be alright, I don't need to really get into the rat race. So Rahu is also a wake-up call sometimes for that Saturn. This Saturn also wants more authority and power over the fellow persons who are working below him. So if the person is a union leader who he oversees 10 to 15 people, he may think, no, I need to be a union leader over 100 people or 200 people. We should join these two unions and I should be made the leader, or I should be given a higher designation where I am looking at the roles and responsibilities of everyone, how everybody is working, or I should be able to move 2 positions now because I haven't got my promotions for 4 years, 5 years, I can't wait. So sometimes the person may push the authorities to be able to give them higher position, higher designation, higher roles and responsibilities also. But Saturn is also about boundaries. So sometimes Rahu pushes the edge of rules and regulations. The person may try to create new rules and regulations, new laws also, but sometimes if it is going over good energies, well placed Saturn, then it can become very, very innovative, very, very current, and in fact may look around the world and see what's happening around the world. Are we current? Are our SOPs, standard operating procedures, current? And may bring in and usher in a new creative energy, and in fact bring the organization to more current modes of working, of discipline, of structure, of responsibilities as well. So as long as Rahu is going over good energy of Saturn, good dignity of Saturn, this can be a good Rahu which goes over natal position of Saturn. But if Saturn is in bad dignity, then this can also bring in all those manifestations where the person is losing his patience, either the person is procrastinating to one extreme, or the person is losing all his feelings of commitment, loyal, and in fact sometimes, many times, it can also push and trigger the person feeling, I am not getting enough, I don't want to be in this organization, and take even drastic decision of almost quitting the company or joining another organization, maybe just for a higher role or higher responsibility or higher remuneration. So this is a tricky energy. If Rahu is going over the natal position of your Saturn, then be a little careful, because a lot of negative denotations may also come in, and you may find a lot of impatience which is creeping into you after years of being patient and being a persevering person. So be really mindful of this energy when Rahu goes over the natal position of Saturn in your birth chart. Now if Rahu is going over the natal position of Rahu itself, this is the Rahu return position, which means Rahu has come back to the position where it is in the birth chart. If Rahu was in the 10th house in the birth chart and now Rahu is transiting over the natal position of Rahu, which means Rahu is going over your 10th house. So any return position is always an awakening position. I've also done a series on the return of different planets, which means Rahu return on Rahu, Ketu return on Ketu, Saturn's return, Jupiter's return. I've already done that. See that video, that will also give you more tips on, more pointer towards what a return position means. So when Rahu is going over natal position of Rahu, this is a wake up call for the person, and that this person is looking at all areas of life. This person is looking at, have I gained in life enough? Have I got the right designation? Have I got the improvement that I need to get in my health? Have I got the love and affection in my life? Have I got the corner office? Have I got the home that I need? Have I got the quality of things that I wanted in the house? So the person is looking around and trying to take a stock of the situation where he or she is, including the relationship. So in this return position, Rahu will look at all the areas, and more so that area where Rahu is transiting over its natal position. So if Rahu is transiting over its natal position in the 7th house, then the person is too focused on his marital life, on his partnership, on his team. If Rahu is going over his natal position of his 9th house, then the person will look at, am I current? Have I acquired the right knowledge? Am I competent enough to grow? Can I get more knowledge, more qualification, and force the organization to give me higher remuneration, higher designation, higher power, higher authority, the corner office as well. So the person will push this envelope in all areas of life, and more in that area where Rahu is placed. But Rahu over Rahu is a huge explosive energy. So sometimes this person can go to extreme limits to be able to get what he or she wants. If Rahu is going over natal position of Rahu in the 8th house, then this person can go to extremes to be able to get the sexual intimacy that the person wants, the money that he wants, even in fact getting into the purses of other people's money and trying to see whether I can take away from the other person. If Rahu is going over the 2nd house, then trying to put more money as financial security, the person can go to extremes. If Rahu is going over natal position of Rahu in the 5th house, can then put in all the money trying to get higher returns from the share market, sometimes even leading to their downfall. So this is a very, very tricky placement. If Rahu is very well placed, then this can really take to places. It can be a double nuclear explosion, and this can propel people to the highest levels of power, authority, name, fame, everything that the person wants can come back to the person or come to the person. But if Rahu is not well placed, Rahu is in bad dignity, this is one of the worst placement for such a downfall that the person sometimes can never escape, to such a downfall that the person can never come back to the same placement again. So this is a tricky placement. If you have Rahu going over natal Rahu in your birth chart, be the most careful that anybody else can go over any other transit of Rahu or any other planet. If Rahu is going over the natal position of Ketu, wherever Ketu is placed in your birth chart, so here the person is thinking, have I given up enough? Have I served enough? Have I done enough to do for others? So this person has a hunger and greed to do more for others. But yet there also the greed is that I want people to see me as a philanthropist. I want the people to see me as somebody who has such a golden heart. I want the people to see I am such a good social worker. So there is also greed that I want the credit that I am the most giving person, I am the nicest person, I am the most caring person, I am the most empathetic person, I am the biggest philanthropist in the world. So during that phase, the person may also do more charity, but there is always a need that I also want the recognition. So the person may also go to organizations and say, you know what, do you have an award for the best philanthropist? Do you have an award for most things done for old age home? Do you have an award for most things done for climate change? And if he or she is the CEO of a company, they will also try to create some rules and regulations, some processes in the company, because of it the organization is seen as somebody who is moving towards the direction, a very climate focused, society focused, female affairs focused company, for better diversity, for better taking care of the people who are right down to the last rung of the organization. So the person may do all these processes and then ask the HR head, why don't you put my name and the organization name to win for awards or to qualify for awards, and if you need to do something, also do that so that I end up getting the award. So there is always this need also to show the organization, the department, and also self also to be seen on the higher rungs of ethics, morals, giving, charity, philanthropy also. But if Rahu is going over well placed Ketu, then the person is truly spiritual, truly wants to do more for others, and sometimes the people who are giving the most away, sacrificing the most, sometimes later on waking up and thinking, what did I do? It can happen when Rahu is going over natal Ketu. But what this can also lead the person also to do is sometimes give away too much without thinking what they are giving away. Sometimes the person can also take away from family, take away from the loved ones, take away from those people who truly deserve, just to be seen as a bigger philanthropist, and only later to open the eyes and think, no, I shouldn't have done this. Sometimes the person may give up life, may give up everything, sometimes they'll go and become a hermit only to realize that this life is too difficult, I gave up too soon, this life is not for me. There are many people who have given up and become nuns or given up their life for the service of the Lord during when Rahu is going over Ketu, only to realize that I want to come back and I don't want to really give up. There is no materialistic disaster left in me. So if Rahu is going over well placed Ketu, this can be the best placement even for spiritual elevation. But if Ketu is in a tough place, then this can lead you to those actions which you may regret much later. So friend, now that we have seen how Rahu's transit over other planetary placement, including itself, we give you different possibilities, different probabilities, different manifestations, different denotations. See where Rahu is transiting over which planet in your natal horoscope. Right now Rahu is transiting over Aries. In a year's time it will be transiting over Pisces or maybe some other planet. So whenever Rahu is going over any planet in your natal chart, it goes over it for 18 months. A lot of possibilities are created for you, a lot of opportunities also created for you, but also a lot of pitfalls are also ready for you. So be ready to take care of the advantage of the opportunities and be aware of the pitfalls that Rahu may be throwing up to you when Rahu is transiting over the natal position of planets in your birth chart. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the link given below. Till some other time with some other video, this is your friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.